Stop right now. If this video appeared on your screen today, it was no coincidence. God has been trying to speak to you for weeks, and you haven't been listening. You wake up at 3 in the morning for no reason at all. You feel a tightness in your chest when you least expect it. You've been dreaming about people who have already passed away. You see the same repeating numbers on license plates, on clocks, on receipts, and deep down, a voice that doesn't come from your own head repeats the same phrase. I need to talk to you. Don't delay any longer. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal exactly what the Father is trying to communicate to you right now, why He chose this exact moment in your life, and what will happen if you continue pretending you don't hear Him. Stay until the end, because the third message will change your entire week, and perhaps the rest of your year. First of all, let me ask you something, and I want you to answer in silence within your heart. How many times in the last few weeks have you felt that something was trying to reach you and you pushed it off until later? How many times did you think, I need to start praying again? I need to stop and think about my life. I need to listen to what's inside me. And the next hour, you were back on your phone, at work, watching TV shows, lost in the routine. Well then, it wasn't your mind making it up. It was Him. And He hasn't given up on you. I need to tell you a truth that few people have the courage to say. God does not interrupt the lives of those He has lost. He insists on those He is still calling. When you feel that discomfort in your chest, that nameless tightness, that anguish that appears out of nowhere in the middle of the Monday morning commute, that is a sign. It's not depression. It's not just stress. It's not just the exhaustion of the routine. It is heaven knocking on the door of your soul, and the more you ignore it, the louder the knocking becomes. Let's go to the first clear sign. You have been waking up between 3 and 4 in the morning, without an alarm, without noise, without physical pain. You simply open your eyes in the dark and lie there with a strange feeling in your heart, unable to go back to sleep. The ancients called this time the spirit hour. Science today confirms that in this interval, the body is at its lowest point of cortisol. The mind's ego barrier is at its thinnest, and any spiritual message passes through with greater ease. It's not insomnia. It's a summons. The next time you wake up at that hour, instead of picking up your phone, do one simple thing. Sit on the edge of the bed, take 3 deep breaths, and ask in a low voice, Father, what do you want to tell me? You will be startled by the answer that arrives. The second sign is what I call the repeating coincidence. You open an app and a verse appears. You turn on the television, and the pastor is talking exactly about your problem. A person at work drops a phrase that seems like an answer to a question you asked in the shower that morning. You look at the clock, it's 11:11. You look at the speedometer, 77. You get your change, $2.22. You smile awkwardly and say, what a coincidence. It's not. Coincidence is the polite way God found to call you without scaring you. He knows that if He appeared all at once, you would despair. So He touches you from the corners, scattering crumbs on the floor, waiting for you to lift your head and realize that a path has been drawn for you for months. And here, exactly here, I need to interrupt you and tell you something serious, because everything you are feeling at this moment, that tightness in your chest, that nameless longing, that waking up in the middle of the night, that is not a symptom of a disorganized life. That is God's call arriving at your door. I cannot continue without giving you the key that the Father placed in my hands to deliver to you. The problem you are seeing today is only the top part of a much larger spiritual chessboard. There are things happening in the unseen realm around your life that you can't even imagine. And you are the target. You are the piece that heaven has been vying for a long time. That is why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading. It is the bridge that will take you from the state of someone who hears God and doesn't understand, and place you in the state of someone who hears, understands, obeys, and prospers. Each of the 21 days works on a layer of your connection. The first day teaches the exercise of silence that opens the Spirit's auditory channel. The 7th day teaches how to interpret signs without falling into superstition. The 14th day hands you specific prayers to close the doors that have been hindering your life for years. And the 21st is the day you will feel, in a physical, real way, the confirmation that God is with you. The link to this sacred book is in the first comment of the channel. And I need to warn you clearly, this content challenges much of what the system tries to silence. They have tried to take it down more than once. So don't stall. Download it now, while the link is still active. And after downloading, come back here to the comments and write this: I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against this silence that has been separating you from God. The third sign, and this is the most ignored by Americans over 35, is the longing without a reason. You are living a normal life, with your problems and your victories, and out of nowhere, a longing hits you. It's not a longing for someone. It's not a longing for a place. It's a longing for yourself, for who you were before life hardened you. You remember that child who prayed before going to sleep, that teenager who believed in miracles, that young person who had dreams too big for the size of their pocket, and you feel that you lost something along the way that was your best part. Write down what I'm going to tell you. This longing is not nostalgia. It is your spirit crying for the presence of God that it once experienced and no longer has. And that is exactly what the Father is trying to give back to you now. Now let's talk about the causes. Why are you unable to hear God, even when He shouts? The main cause of spiritual silence in Americans over 35 is not a lack of faith. I will repeat because it is important. It is not a lack of faith. It is an excess of noise. The average adult American consumes 7 hours of screen time a day between their phone, television, and computer. 7 hours. This means your brain is receiving more than 4,000 stimuli per day: news, advertisements, comment section fights, short videos, family group audios, work gossip, bank debt. In the midst of this hurricane, how is God's whisper going to reach you? Imagine the scene: you are at a concert with the sound at maximum volume. Someone behind you is trying to warn you that your bag is open. That person isn't going to scream. They will speak in your ear softly. If your attention is entirely on the stage, you will never hear them, and you will still lose what was most valuable to you. Now answer me with a clear conscience. Isn't your life exactly like that concert? Haven't you been letting the most important messages pass by unnoticed because the noise outside is louder than the silence inside? The second cause of silence is what I call religious trauma. Many people over 35 grew up in a heavy faith, in churches that scared children, with fathers who threatened them with hell, with mothers who made them pray as a punishment. And when that person grew up, they made an association in their subconscious. God is a demand. God is guilt. God is fear. So every time the father tries to draw near now, in the adult phase, that adult closes up automatically, without even realizing it. It's like a reflex. The heart wants to, but the body recoils. If you identified with this, stay calm. The God who is calling you today is not the God of fear. He is the God of reconciliation. He didn't come to collect an old debt. He came to embrace you again. The third cause, and here I ask for your total attention, is the silent envy of the invisible realm. There are people around your life, and sometimes people who don't even know you well, who pray for the opposite of your success. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It is a spiritual reality that the Bible describes in several books. Envy is the oldest form of attack, and it doesn't need to be done with black candles. It is done with bad thoughts, with corner-of-the-table talk, with acidic comments in the family group. And this kind of thing creates a spiritual fog around you that muffles the voice of God. You even pray, but the prayer seems to hit the ceiling and bounce back. You even search, but what was supposed to be clear becomes blurry. This is one of the reasons why the Father is being more insistent with you now. He wants to pull you out of this fog before it gets any thicker. Now for the third message, the one I promised at the beginning of the video. God is telling you the following: the time of your passive waiting is over. Look closely at what I'm going to say. You have been waiting for some things for years, waiting for the marriage to improve, waiting for the child to come home, waiting for work to yield results, waiting for health to stabilize, waiting for the finances to breathe. And you pray and say, Lord, I'm on your time. But the Father is answering you now through this video that His time has already arrived, and the one who is late is you, not with a demand, with an invitation. He is saying, enough of you waiting with your arms crossed. I need you on your feet, on the front line of your own story. I need you obeying, acting, deciding. The miracle that is kept for you needs an open door, and the door is your decision. That is why you feel this tightness. That is why there is this urgency. That is why the video appeared today, not 2 months from now. There are things marked on your heavenly calendar to happen yet this year, and you need to be aligned to receive them. If you don't align yourself, the blessing passes by. It's not a punishment, it's a spiritual law. The blessing has a door, a time, and an angle. If you aren't in the right place, it passes over your head and goes to bless someone else. Before we continue, I ask one simple thing. If so far this video is making sense to you, leave a like. The like is the way YouTube understands that this content needs to reach more people. There are people in your city, in your family, in your workplace who need to hear this today, and they won't hear it if you don't help push it forward. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, and write the word present in the comments. It's your way of saying to God, I am here, I am listening, you can speak to me. And speaking of being present, now I need to come back to you with something serious, because I know that you are feeling, at this exact instant, a strange mixture in your chest, a desire to keep listening and at the same time a fear of touching what has been stirred. This fear, write down what I'm going to say, this fear is not yours. This fear is the last wall that separates you from the miracle. And the Father sent me here to tear down that wall with you. Everything we are talking about here isn't just about listening to God. It's about a silent war being waged around your life for much longer than you imagine. You think it's just emotional pain, exhaustion, a bad phase. But what is truly happening is that there are spiritual layers surrounding you. There is the layer of excess noise I mentioned. There is the layer of religious trauma. There is the layer of silent envy. There is the layer of your own negative words that you speak every day without realizing it. There is the layer of promises you made and didn't keep. There is the layer of people you needed to forgive and held in your heart. And above all that, there is heaven wanting to descend with power over your house, but bumping into each of these layers as if they were a lead ceiling. The problem of God's silence that you are experiencing is only the visible tip of this entire board. And you are the most valuable piece on this board. You are not a number. You are not just another person. There are things prepared for you that if you saw them today just as you are, you would faint. That is why the Father cannot deliver them to you all at once. He first needs to prepare you. And preparing means removing these layers one by one, with method, with patience, with obedience. That is why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading, it is a practical path, day by day, for you to dismantle each of these layers that are separating you from His voice. In the first block, from day 1 to day 7, you learn to silence the noise. There is a 15-minute-a-day exercise, simple, that anyone can do, even working all day. This exercise recalibrates your nervous system and opens the spiritual listening channel. Already in the first week, most people report that they started having clear dreams, obvious signs, and answers to old questions. In the second block, from day 8 to day 14, you enter the healing phase. Here the sacred book takes you by the hand, with specific prayers and declarations, to treat religious trauma, the envy that weighs on you, and the old words you spoke against yourself without knowing the extent of the damage. This phase is the most transformative. Some people cry a lot in the second week, and it is a cleansing cry. It's as if the soul had years of dust being swept away all at once. It's not common reading. It's an experience. In the third block, from day 15 to day 21, you enter the phase of alignment and prosperity. Here the Father teaches you, through this work, the principles that govern heaven, so that prosperity enters your life without turning into a curse later. Because, and few people talk about this, prosperity without alignment ruins a person's life. There are people who asked, received, and 3 years later lost everything again and even lost their health along the way. The sacred book teaches you how to receive and how to sustain, how to rise and how to stay there, how to have and how to multiply. The link to this sacred book is pinned in the first comment of the channel. I need to be very direct with you. This material challenges what the system likes to impose. This content dismantles the programming of poverty, the programming of chronic fatigue, the programming of accepting it's good enough. They have already tried to take it down more than once. This link has been taken off the air before, so don't stall, don't leave it for tomorrow. Tomorrow it might not be there anymore. Go to the first comment, click the link, download the sacred book now while it's still available. And after downloading, do one thing that will seal your act of faith. Come back here to the comments of this video and write, in your own words, but starting with the phrase, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." This written phrase is not just a comment, it is a declaration. It is a decree. It is you telling the unseen realm that you have decided to leave the audience of your life and step onto the stage. And when you write it, heaven records it. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against this feeling of blockage that has been haunting you since last year. And here is something that many people don't realize about God's messages in the life of a person over 35. There is a difference between what He told you at 20 and what He tells you now. At 20, the message was one of direction. At 25, it was of courage. At 30, it was of patience. But from 35 onward, the message changes tone. It becomes a message of purpose. And purpose is not what you do. It's what you release into the world. That is why this phase is so delicate. The Father is calling you back because He has a mission kept for you that cannot be executed by anyone else. There are people who will be healed because you will speak a word. There are families that will be restored because you will set an example. There are houses that will be bought because you will understand a principle of prosperity. There are marriages that will return because you will learn to forgive. And all of this depends on your reconnection happening now, not later. I'll tell you a quick story. I met a lady from Tennessee, 62 years old. Her name was Sarah Thompson. She told me that for 15 years, she had a feeling of tightness in her chest every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. She went to several doctors, had heart exams for everything, and they found nothing. Until she started practicing sacred silence, using that method the book teaches. In the first month of this practice on a Wednesday, she sat in her living room, closed her eyes and asked, "Father, what is this that tightens my chest every Wednesday?" And she heard, with the clarity of a human voice, the answer, "It is your mother calling you to pray for her. It has been 15 years." Her mother had passed away on a Wednesday, 15 years earlier. Since that day, every Wednesday, Sarah lights a candle and prays, and the tightness disappeared. I tell you this so you can understand one thing. The answers you need are available. The channel exists. You just need to stop pretending you don't hear and learn the right method of listening. Look at what I ask of you now. Take your phone, set it aside for 10 minutes after this video, and say a phrase out loud. "Father, I am here. You can speak to me. I will obey." Just that. And pay attention to what happens in the next 24 hours, because a sign will come. It might be a person who calls for no reason. It might be a phrase you hear on the radio. It might be a dream. It might be a sudden urge to do something you were putting off. This sign is the direct answer. Write it down in a notebook and do what it asks. If you are starting to feel this power arriving inside you, write in the comments, "I will obey." It's not a silly phrase, it's a contract. And when you sign with your word, heaven fulfills its part. Wait, before we advance to the last layer of this revelation, I need to come back to something for you, because I know what is going through your head at this exact moment. You are thinking, all of this is beautiful, it makes sense, I feel it's true, but how do I do it in practice? How do I move from desire into action? How do I transform this feeling in my chest into real change in my life? The answer is simpler than it seems, and at the same time deeper than most are ready to face. You need a method, you need a path, you need an outstretched hand. Good intention alone does not move mountains. Willpower without discipline becomes frustration in 3 weeks, and that is exactly what happened to you at the beginning of this year, when you made that list of personal promises in January, and by March you had already forgotten them all. It wasn't a lack of faith, it was a lack of structure. It was the lack of a daily guide to pull you on the day the soul wants to give up. And that is why the Father used me to deliver to you now, in this video, at this exact moment you are watching, a tool that He prepared with specific care for this moment in your life. That is why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, the 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This sacred book is not just a reading. It is a map. It is a plan of daily obedience. It is a structured spiritual training based on biblical principles, based on ancestral wisdom, and at the same time tested by thousands of Americans who were exactly where you are now, stuck in silence, stuck in the feeling that God had disappeared, stuck in the nameless tightness, and who in 21 days were reborn. It is not an exaggeration. Reborn. Look at what this sacred book does with the specific pain this video is addressing. You are suffering from spiritual silence, from an unanswered call, from an unheard message. The sacred book unlocks that. In the first 3 days, it teaches you the exercise of sacred silence, which is a 15-minute daily practice where you learn to separate the voice of your mind, the voice of fear, the voice of external envy, and the clean voice of the Holy Spirit. Most people have never learned to make this separation. That's why they confuse everything. They think a hunch is just anxiety, and anxiety is just a premonition. The book teaches you the difference with method, and in the first week, you already begin to know which voice is which. From day 4 to day 7, the book works on blocked memories, those memories you pushed under the rug 20, 30 years ago. The hard-working father who never praised you, the mother who said you would never be anything, the ex-husband who told you that you were hard to love, the boss who humiliated you in public. All of these are open spiritual mouths inside you, bleeding even today, and preventing the voice of God from descending. The sacred book gives you specific prayers, guided declarations, and practical forgiveness exercises that close these mouths. And when they close, His voice enters with such clarity that you cry with gratitude. From day 8 to day 14, and this is one of the most powerful parts of the book, is where the alignment with prosperity comes in. Because the silence of God in your life, write this down, is also financial silence. When the spiritual channel is closed, the material channel also locks up. You can't think clearly, you can't decide well, you can't identify opportunities. The sacred book teaches you 7 biblical principles of prosperity that most people have never heard of. 7 keys, each worked on a specific day, with a practical exercise that you do with your real life, with your real salary, with your real home. And when these 7 keys act together, the finances start to move in a way that doesn't seem human. From day 15 to 21, the last block, is the consecration. Here you seal everything you learned in the previous 3 weeks. It's as if you had built a new house, and in this last week you are furnishing it, organizing it, and having the housewarming with the Father. You come out of the 21 days a different person, and it's not just a nice speech, it is a tested reality. People send messages week after week reporting out of this world things. Debt paid off suddenly, a promotion that wasn't on the horizon, a child who came back home after months of not speaking, a marriage that was restored, health that improved in tests that were all wrong. It's not coincidence, it's consequence. When you align yourself, heaven manifests. And look, I need to say something important about the value of this. This sacred book, because of the content it has, the structured method, the amount of practical exercises, the type of transformation it generates, it would easily be worth 5 times what it costs today. But the Father was very clear. This material is not to be a financial barrier for anyone. It has to reach the hands of those who need it. That's why the symbolic investment there in the link is practically nothing compared to what you receive. It's the price of a pizza, of a family lunch on Sunday. But it's a pizza that changes your life for the next 20 years. The link to this sacred book is in the first comment of the channel. I will repeat because it is important. The link is in the first comment. It's not just in the description. It's not at the end of the video. It's in the first comment, pinned right at the top, so it's easy for you to find. And I need to alert you once more. This content directly challenges the narratives that this system wants to push on you. The system of conform, the system of accept what they gave you, the system of God no longer speaks like He used to. All of that is a trained lie to keep you in the same place. And the sacred book breaks that lie with Bible in hand. That's why they have tried to take down this material more than once. That's why the link sometimes disappears for hours. So don't postpone. Don't say, I'll download it tomorrow. Don't say, I'll look at it over the weekend. Today is God's time. Now is the exact point. When you go to download it, do one small thing that has an enormous spiritual weight. Come back here to the video comments and write, with faith, the phrase, "I am chosen, and I will download the digital book." You can write in your own words afterward, but start with that phrase, because when you write that and click send, 3 things happen at the same time. First, you confirm before the unseen realm that you have accepted the call. Second, you inspire other people who are reading the comments and are still in doubt. Third, you activate the spiritual law of confession, and a written phrase in today's digital world is the same thing as the mouth confessing in the old days. It is a decree. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against this feeling of blockage that has been chasing you, stealing opportunity, miracles, and clarity since this phase began in your life. There is one last layer of the message that God is delivering to you today, and this is the one that hurts the most to admit, but at the same time is the one that most liberates when you understand it. The last layer is this: the silence of God in your life didn't come because he distanced himself from you. It came because you distanced yourself from yourself. Read that phrase again in your mind, slowly. You distanced yourself, from your intuition, from your sensitivity, from your courage, from your truth. And when a person distances themselves from themselves, the first thing that goes out is the echo of God, because the echo of God lives exactly in the center of your true identity. That's why, when you pray, and it feels like you are talking to yourself, it's not the Father who isn't answering. It's you who lost the internal radar that captured his frequency. And how did you distance yourself from yourself? For 1,000 small reasons that became one big reason. You started living to please people who don't even love you. You started accepting work that kills your soul because it pays the bills. You started silencing your opinion at home so as not to fight. You started swallowing injustice to maintain a peace that wasn't even peace, it was anesthesia. And when all that added up, there was little left of you inside you. There was only a shell. And the shell doesn't hear God. Only the core hears. The good news, and here heaven embraces you, is that the core never dies. It only sleeps, and it wakes up the instant you decide to return to it. It's like turning on a light in a dark room that has been closed for 20 years. The bulb lights up in the same fraction of a second as it would in a newly painted room. The old darkness does not delay the new light. You can be in this state of disconnection for however long, but the minute you decide with faith to return to the center of yourself and to the Father, the light turns on fully. And that is why this video is reaching you. This is the moment of decision. It is not a coincidence that you are watching now. It is not a coincidence that you reached this part of the video while thousands of other people jumped ship in the first 2 minutes. You are here because it is your time, because you were chosen to hear this today, because the Father knew you needed this push on exactly this Wednesday, or this Tuesday, or this late night. When you opened YouTube almost without thinking, and this video appeared first. I need you to feel the weight of this. It isn't just any video. It is a letter, a digital letter. But it is a letter, addressed to you, with a spiritual name and address on the envelope. And before we close this transmission, I need to deliver to you the greatest key of all, the master key, the one that opens the door that was locked in your life. You have listened this far, and if you have listened this far, it's because this is serious. I no longer have any doubt about who you are and what is happening to you. You are someone whom heaven has set apart to carry a great mission in the second half of your life. You are not an ordinary person. Ordinary people turn off spiritual videos in the first 5 minutes, go watch something else, and move on with their lives without feeling a thing. Not you. You felt it. You recognized it. You stayed. And that gives me spiritual authorization to tell you the heaviest and most beautiful truth of this transmission. The Father sent me to tell you the following, and I will speak as if I were only the messenger, because that is exactly what I am at this moment. He said this, and you read it slowly, letting it in. My son, my daughter, I am not in silence. You are the one who hasn't heard. I have been calling you for longer than you have the courage to admit. I called you when you had that health crisis 2 years ago, and you thought it was just exhaustion. I called you when that friendship ended in a strange way, and you thought it was just that person's ingratitude. I called you when you lost that money in that weird way, and you thought it was just bad luck. In all those moments, I was not punishing you. I was opening your hand to place something greater, and you closed your hand in anger and lost what I came to bring. But I did not give up. I never give up. I am the Father. A father does not give up. And now I am telling you through this messenger, through this video, through the silence you have felt in the middle of the night, enough. Enough with the stumbling. Enough with hearing wrong. Enough with the delaying. Come with me my way, using my method. I prepared the path, I prepared the structure, I prepared the book. It's up to you to take the first step. And the first step is simple. It's trusting, it's downloading, it's reading, it's obeying. 21 days. Only 21 days I ask of you, and in exchange I hand you an entire year of transformation. That is what he said. It wasn't me. It was him through me, and now I will tie together for you what this means in practice. You are at this part of the video, and I know exactly what is going on inside you. You are feeling a mixture of strong emotion and fear of the unknown. You're feeling chills that come and go. You are thinking about people in your family, especially your mother or some grandparent who has already passed. You feel like crying, and at the same time you want to laugh with relief. All of this is the physical manifestation of the Holy Spirit visiting you now. Don't let it pass by. Don't try to rationalize it later and say, "Oh, it was just the emotion of the moment." It wasn't. It was a visitation, and a visitation that doesn't turn into action turns into spiritual sorrow. That is why the time for decision is now, within the video, with the heat of the presence, not tomorrow, not after lunch, not on the weekend, now. And the decision has a name. Download the sacred book and start the 21 days. There is no other path that is so direct, so structured, so complete, and so accessible at the same time. I have seen people try the "I'll do it on my own" path. Almost no one succeeds. Not for lack of faith, but for lack of structure. The human soul needs method. The human brain needs repetition. The human will needs a schedule, and that is exactly what the sacred book delivers to you. I will explain once more calmly what it specifically does with the pain this video addresses. Your spiritual channel is closed. The sacred book opens that channel through 3 fronts that work in parallel during the 21 days. Front 1, internal cleaning. You will do a daily 15-minute job that cleans your mental system of accumulated noise. It's like removing cobwebs from the attic of your house. The first web is 30 years old. The second is 20. The third is 10. The book takes them one by one and guides you on how to remove them without getting hurt. In the first week, you already feel that the air inside your head has changed. Thoughts become lighter. Decisions become easier. You start to notice things that were right under your nose and you didn't even see. Front 2, emotional healing. Here the book works on effective wounds with specific prayers, with identity declarations, with real forgiveness exercises, and with a guided visualization technique based on biblical principles. Some people say, "Oh, but that sounds like something a psychologist would do." The difference is that a psychologist works with your head. The book works with your soul. Both help. But the soul is deeper, and it is from the soul that God's voice comes. That's why when you heal there, the silence ends. Front 3, activation of prosperity aligned with listening. Here the book gives you practical biblical principles about money, decisions, opportunities, and action. It's not positive thinking, it's something else. It's spiritual law applied to your daily life. There is an exercise on day 16, for example, called the prayer of the door, and many people report that it changes their financial situation in 15 days. It's not magic. It's a principle. It works when you apply it. And these 3 fronts working together during the 21 days produce an accumulated effect that is practically impossible to explain in words to someone who hasn't lived it. It's as if you were a withered plant that received water, sun, and fertilizer all at once. In 3 weeks, the plant is different. The leaves return, the flowers return, the stem becomes strong, and the plant begins to bear fruit. Now answer me one thing. It can be in silence inside your heart. How much would you give to recover your connection with God? How much would you pay to stop feeling this nameless tightness? What would it be worth to you to wake up in the morning and know without a doubt what the next step of your life is? Think about that value for a few seconds. Now compare that value with the symbolic investment in the link. You will be startled by the difference. Because the Father did not allow this material to cost a lot. He was very specific. He said, let it cost little but be worth everything. And that's how it is. Those who download it are shocked by the amount of content for the price they paid. The link is in the first comment of the channel. I will repeat it once more because the artificial intelligence that controls this platform often hides important information, and some people lose the link by mistake. The link is in the first comment. A pinned comment with the cover of the sacred book, titled 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. You click there, go to the page, download it, receive it directly on your phone or your computer, and start today. Today. There is no reason to wait. And look, I need to be even more transparent with you. This material has already been a target. They have already tried to take it down more than once. There are people who don't want this type of knowledge to reach the common person, because a person aligned with God becomes ungovernable by manipulation. An American who wakes up spiritually stops buying what they don't need, stops voting for those who don't deserve it, stops keeping quiet in the face of injustice, and starts living with firmness, direction, and power. That doesn't interest a lot of people. That's why the content of this book directly challenges several narratives that try to push you towards spiritual mediocrity. And because of that, at any moment, this link could go offline. This isn't drama, it's reality. So don't play with heaven's time. When heaven opens a door, you walk through it. Don't stand there admiring the open door. Walk through. And when you walk through, do that thing I asked of you. Come back here to the video comment. Write the phrase, I am chosen and I will download the digital book. You can write it your own way afterward. You can put your story. You can put a word of faith, but start with that phrase. Because that phrase activates a spiritual principle called active declaration. You are moving from the position of the audience to the position of the protagonist, and heaven records every protagonist who rises up. There is one more thing I need to tell you about the book before we close. It's not just for you, it's for your household. When you start the 21 days, something changes in the atmosphere of your home. The people who live with you start to feel it. The husband becomes calmer. The wife becomes sweeter. The children stop fighting so much. The dog becomes more peaceful. This is the reflection of spiritual alignment radiating from the center. You align yourself, and your house aligns with you. Some people start the book alone, and in the second week their spouse asks to read along. That is fruit, that is harvest. And look, this moment you are living, this instant of decision, this will be remembered. Write down what I'm going to say. A year from now, 2 years from now, you will look back and say, it was in that video that my life changed direction. It's not an exaggeration. It's a prediction based on thousands of testimonies. The turning points of adult life are common moments, in common hours on common devices, where a person makes uncommon decisions. And this is one of those hours. This is one of those moments. You can let it pass and continue another year in the same ditch, or you can reach out your hand now and let the Father pull you up. I know there is a voice inside you saying, oh, but it's just another product on the internet. I understand that voice. It exists to protect you, but it has also protected you from blessings, and you know that. How many times in this life have you felt the impulse to do something that would change everything, and the voice of caution said, calm down, wait, leave it for later. And you waited, and the opportunity went away, and you only felt regret. How many times? Think honestly. The voice of exaggerated caution is not the voice of wisdom. It is the voice of fear disguised as wisdom. And the voice of fear always keeps you where you have always been. This video did not appear to you by chance. The YouTube algorithm is math. But what makes the algorithm deliver this video precisely to you, precisely now, precisely in this phase, that isn't math. It's something else. It is a choice from heaven fitted into the math of the earth. And those who understand this have already stopped doubting. So do the following. Pause this video for a moment. Go to the first comment of the channel, click the link, download the sacred book. Do it now, without a second thought. Then come back to the video. I'll wait for you. Because there is more important stuff for you to hear after you download it. Are you back? Great. Now you are a different person, even if you don't feel it yet. You signed the contract with heaven. You made the act of faith. Now we close. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against the biggest lie that separated you from God's voice during your entire adult life. The biggest lie they taught you, which is at the root of all your disconnection, is this: that you need to deserve to be heard by God. Lie. A total lie. You are heard because you are a child, not because you are a saint, not because you never made a mistake, not because you did everything perfectly. You are heard because He loves you in a way that doesn't depend on your behavior. When you understand that, you will be able to pray freely. You will be able to ask without guilt. You will be able to wait without anxiety, because you will be secure in His love. And starting today, with the 21 days beginning, that security will become a stone inside you, a stone that no longer moves, a stone that you will be able to step on every day of your life. I finish this video with a request, a prayer, and one last call. The request is this: share this video with 3 people you love. It can be on text, it can be in person, it can be in a direct message. 3 people. Because there are people waiting for this call and it won't reach them if you aren't the messenger. Those who share blessings receive double blessings. It's in the Bible in several passages. The prayer is this, and say it with me even if it's just in your thoughts. Father, I heard you today. I recognize that I was distracted, but I am coming back. I am coming back now. I accept the sacred book as a tool. I accept the 21 days as a path. I ask you to open the doors that are closed, close the doors that are hurting me, and make me see clearly everything you have prepared for me starting today. In the name of the Son, so be it. And the last call is this, and I won't beat around the bush because heaven doesn't beat around the bush. If you haven't yet downloaded the sacred book, 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God, this is your last chance within this video. The link is in the first comment of the channel. Click now, download it, read the first chapter yet today, do the first exercise before you go to sleep, and come back to the comment of this video to write the phrase, I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Heaven is waiting for you to walk through the door, and I'll meet you on the other side of the 21 days with a new life, with the voice of God clear inside you and with everything that was waiting for you finally arriving. So be it, and go with God.